Okay, so here's the latest on Fed Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, who I have a fundamental disagreement with. I'm not an economist, but I don't have to be. Do you know why I don't have to be an economist to make sense? Because I have common sense. That's all you need to understand basic economics. You don't have to have an economic degree to understand economics. You got to have a brain and use it. It's fascinating how this works. Let me explain. So the Fed chair over the weekend, he was out in Jackson Hole, the symposium, all the rich fat cats. And he went on to talk about how there's some economic pain in store for America because he and the powers that be have got to take on inflation, which they allowed to happen. So these eggheads or boneheads, you choose Jerome Powell and his cronies are responsible in large part for the inflationary situation that we're in. Congress and both presidents lead into this, so I can be an equal opportunity offender. All this PPP loan stuff and all of the cash that the Fed put out in the form of government payments made our country flush with cash. And so people made decisions that they decide, okay, well, we're going to spend like crazy. And the single biggest cause of inflation is the rise in incomes. And so what are these dolts suggesting we do? Drive up unemployment to get inflation back down. That's what they're going to do. So they're literally going, we're hoping to drive people into unemployment to get the inflation rate down. Does anybody else think that that's wise? All right. So one of his cronies, the Atlanta Fed president, Rafael Bostic, decided to expand on the good chairman's comments. This is a direct quote. He told Fox Business, I think the chair, he's talking about Powell, was trying to prepare people for the possibility that as the economy slows down, we might have some job loss and we might have some slowdown in business. Well, we don't know exactly how much there will be. Exactly. They have no freaking clue what to do. So they think that driving unemployment up is going to slow down the economy, the inflationary rate. It's not. I'll explain why in a moment. He goes on to say inflation is high because demand is high and supply is not responding. To the extent that we can get supply response, that's less that we'll have to do. And that will actually be expansionary for the economy. So it's all egghead talk. Here's what they do realize. They do realize that we have wages that have steadily gone up. Okay? And I'm going to cover that in our next story. But I want to at least touch on this so that you, the people, know what's happening. Okay? Forget Ukraine, the war there, and Russia, and oil, and all that stuff. Forget supply chain stuff. All that's beginning to shake its way out. How do I know that? Again, I have a brain and I pay attention. The cost of drywall and lumber has come down. It has not come all the way down to pre-pandemic pricing levels, but it has come down. So that's not what's keeping inflation high. The single greatest cause of our inflation in this country is the rise in hourly wages and salaries. It just is. And I'm not saying that it's wrong. Every time I say something like that, I get people on social media go, oh, Ken, what's up, Mr. Jobs guy? You're against people making more money? No, you dolts. Listen to what I just said. The single greatest cause of inflationary cost rising is wages. It always has been, and it always will be. Let me explain. There is a Burger King or a burger joint. It's not Burger King. I'm sorry. I misspoke. There's a burger place out in the Northwest that recently announced a $20 minimum wage for their place. Okay, that's great. But when low-wage workers are making $20 an hour at the burger place, guess what happens? The cost of your burger, your fries, your combo, your milkshake, all of it goes up. How many of you have seen that out there? You've seen it. So companies are passing out. They're trying to get more people to come work for them. So Bostic says in this, he goes, well, we're not seeing supply answer to the demand because we've got 11 plus million jobs available and 8.3 million people unemployed. So we have 1.5 jobs available for every person who's unemployed. The answer is not to raise rates to the point where we see unemployment skyrocket. That's not going to be it. Because companies aren't going to all of a sudden be able to hire people for $12 an hour. The horse is out of the barn. So they're trying to attack inflation by attacking a healthy jobs economy. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. No, I'm not an economist, but I know that driving unemployment up isn't going to help. We have more jobs than we've ever had before, and they're different types of jobs.